Okay, just to finish off, I got cut off there. So yeah, I came out of the mosque feeling refreshed at the fact that I was now Muslim. In terms of my family, they were all quite good actually. I was quite surprised. I didn't really get any negativity from my family at all. I think they did think at first that it was a phase that I was going through, although I've never really been the sort of person to go through silly phases as such, and jump from different subjects, be interested in one subject for a few months and then move on to another. Anything I've done, I've always stuck with. So I think they did think it was a phase at first, but then I think they realised that this is a way of life, and this is my way of life now. So I became Muslim on the 19th of June 2003, so nearly 4 years now. It'll be 4 years this month, alhamdulillah. And the best thing that I ever did. My mum did tell me, perhaps 12 months ago, that it did make her cry when she knew that I had become a Muslim and I'd started covering. The covering aspect did upset her a little bit, and it did make her cry. I did sit down with her and explain to her the aspect of covering and why I need to wear hijab, and I also gave a simple literature as well that explained quite clearly as to why I needed to wear it. But at the same time, my mum was very confused because I'd got Muslim girlfriends that didn't cover and that dressed very Western, the way that I used to dress. So my mum was like, well, they are Muslim and they don't cover, so why do you need to cover? But at the end of the day, it all came together, and my mum fully understands now why I'm doing this and why I cover. And not only that, it hasn't changed me as a person. I'm still her daughter, and we still have the same relationship regardless of what items of clothing I've got on, so it doesn't really make a difference to her. The aspect of covering was quite difficult for me. I did look into it for quite a long time before I did it. But then when I first embraced Islam, I didn't start to cover straight away. I still wore the modest clothes that I referred to in part 1. However, I didn't cover my head. And I think I was like that for perhaps about 2 or 3 weeks. And then I started to cover my head, but I covered like a bandana type effect. And I did get the odd stare from people, in the community and in society. I did get people looking, but it wasn't too big of a deal. And then I was continuously always thinking about putting hijab on properly and wearing jilbab. And obviously I would see other sisters who would encourage me to dress correctly or whatever. Probably about 2 weeks after I started covering my head, I just decided that, stuff it, I'm just going to put hijab on, put jilbab on, and that's me. This is my deen, this is what my creator is asking of me, and I'm just going to do it regardless of what society thinks, regardless of what my neighbours think, regardless of what people at work think of me. I'm just going to do it. And so I did, put everything on, and you get tough times, you get people giving you silly remarks in the streets. People have tried to spit at me. Everyone at work, thankfully, has been brilliant, and I've carried on in my workplace without any issues at all. They've provided a prayer room for me as well. Well, not just me, but obviously other Muslims at work there, and they're quite understanding in that respect, so that's really good. But at the end of the day, and I'll say this to any other sisters out there that are thinking about wearing hijab. At the end of the day, you need to think about yourself, and on the day of judgment, or when you're in your grave, we're going to go there alone at the end of the day, and this is something that our creator is ordaining for us as women, as females, that we should cover ourselves. So at the end of the day, you're going to go to your grave, I'm going to go to mine, and I know that I'm going to be accountable if I'm not covered correctly. And what am I going to say to my creator on the day of judgment? Sorry, I was too scared about what my neighbours were going to say. so I didn't put hijab on. I was too scared that I wouldn't get a promotion at work, so I didn't put my hijab on. This isn't good enough. So these are things that we need to think about. And I think I'll wrap it up there because I don't want to bore you too much. But if any of you do have any questions, you want any more detail from me as to my conversion or whatever, then please feel free to leave me a comment and I will get back to you. Okay, Assalamu alaikum.